Hello. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another Hot Topics. Thank you for joining me. Let me know how my mic sounds, if it sounds good. Let me go in here and make sure it sounds good on my end. Hey, everybody. Hello. Hello. And just an FYI, if you come in here complaining about the subject matter, you're just gonna get blocked because I don't understand the people who click on videos that they don't want to listen to. Like the topic is in the title. So if you don't want to hear about the topics, then you don't have to click the video. It's very, very simple. But hello, hello. Yes, I'm back. I'm back. So let's go ahead and get into it and talk about um India Arie versus Young Miami. I actually got a lot of requests about this, or a lot of requests to cover this. And so I wanted to just briefly give my take on it. I was going to do a pre-recorded video and I don't have too much to say. So I'll just cover it in a live stream. But to my understanding, a black woman on Threads, I have the screenshot of the comment. Um, she called for a boycott of Young Miami's song Spin That Ish, which is pretty much a song that glorifies scamming and boosting. And I kind of talked about it a little bit in the last live stream. I personally don't like the song, but the girls love the song. Apparently, it's very popular this summer. But this lady here said that she's boycotting because she believes the song is degrading to Black culture. And India Arie commented saying in so many words that she spent her entire adult life trying to get Black people to care about the messages that they put in their music because of the way it influences the Black community. But she's learned that trying to explain that to them isn't going to make them care, which is correct. I think at some point we all come to that conclusion. But she ended by saying that everything you listen to is going to influence you. So make wise choices. And the singer Nikki Gilbert, she also came out and co-signed India. And so it started this huge conversation about, is Young Miami's new song, is it degrading for Black culture? And, everybody's like sharing their opinions. And I see a lot of people, let's start with this. I see a lot of people saying that India was the one who called for a boycott of the song, but she actually didn't say that at all. And even though I would like India and other Black women who think like her to also go after the men in the Black community who put out extremely dangerous music, extremely dangerous messages in their music, extremely misogynistic messages in their music. I would love for them to go after them and not only single out the Black women. Um, but I do agree with both what the commenter said and what India said. Okay. Now, I do understand why the girls don't go after the men, because they're going to be subject to so much more harassment and bullying. Even though India Arie, to me, she's Trick Daddy came out and was talking his shit. To me, India Arie got a lot of pushback when it came to this, but I know it would have been even worse if she would have said anything about the men in their music. So on one hand, it's like I understand why women like India Arie don't really say anything about the men. But on the other hand, it's like, okay, but if you're not going to say anything about the men and you're only going to single out the women when they're the minority in the rap space, especially, then just don't say anything. That's kind of my stance on it, But however, again, I do agree with what India said. The song is trash. The lyrics are trash. Young Miami, I'm sorry, people gonna get mad when I say this, but Young Miami sounds slow when she raps. I've never liked her rapping. I've never liked her sound. Nothing about the song is cute. Is it catchy? Yes, but sorry, not sorry. The song is not cute. And in my opinion, ladies, and this song is nothing to defend. It's not a hill that I think Black women especially should die on, because why would you want to be the face of scamming and boosting? Why would you want to promote that? Right? Um, it just doesn't make sense, even if it's just a song. Like, and there's just no way to frame this to where it's going to look good for the Black woman's image, right? Especially when Black women already have to deal with being falsely accused of stealing in our everyday interactions. I mean, there's always videos, clips going viral of Black women being accused of stealing. And I'll put those in here. I don't know why it's not coming up. Oh, yeah. And this here, I had actually just seen this when I was like doing research for this live stream. But this says Seattle mother and daughter arrested for stealing over $7,000 worth of Louis Vuitton bags after tipping off police by posting video to Young Miami spend at. This shit is not funny, but it's like, how much more ridiculous are we gonna get, y'all? This is crazy. So you mean to tell me they got away with stealing $7,000 worth of designer bags and then posted a video with the songs and then got arrested because the police saw? Y'all, what is going on? And so this is what I'm talking about. It's like y'all will say, oh, the music, doesn't matter. It doesn't influence people. It's just a song. It's not just a song. Two dumbass Black women just got arrested. You know what I'm saying? So you can't say it's just the song, y'all. It's not. It's not. Listen, you can say you like the song. You can say, I'm just enjoying it. You can say to you individually that it doesn't affect you. It doesn't influence you. It's out there influencing somebody, y'all. You know what I'm saying? And again, outside of that, you got Black women who haven't stolen anything being racially profiled, for stealing, right? And so, ladies, this is not the hill you want to die on. It's not. And for those who are going to say, oh, well, it's racism, Christy. Racism is the reason Black people are being racially profiled. It's not the rap songs. Okay, and fine. I'll give you that, right? But why would you support the racist stereotypes in your music? Why would you give racist people more ammunition to use against you? That is stupid. Why would you even give them the opportunity to present this song and be like, see, this is what Black people do? Why would you give them that? And this is what I hate about the respectability argument. Y'all will cry all day about people racially profiling you and pegging you as thieves and criminals, but you're literally fighting to be the face of thievery and criminality in your music. Like, you're literally fighting to be the face of that. And I guess that's the part where it's like, okay, well then don't get mad. Don't get mad at the white people who call you that then, because at this point you're fighting to be the face. You're fighting for it now. And I keep hearing people make the argument, oh, well, politicians and corporations are frauds and the healthcare industry is a scam. They're scammers in the government. Okay, and you're right. Once again, it's not that I disagree with anything you guys are saying, but the difference is it's only Black people who are literally fighting to be the image of that, right? At least the corporations and the government, they pretend not to be fraudulent. They pretend not to be scammers. Y'all are just going to you might as well just go out, walk out the house with a shirt that says scammer on it. You might as well just tattoo it on your forehead and just walk out the house. And so for those of you who are like making that false comparison, it's not the same when you're literally fighting to be the image of it. Black people are the primary group of people who fight to be the face of degeneracy and dysfunction. And then you get mad when other people see you that way. And then you also simultaneously pretend not to care how other people see you. It's crazy. It's just Black people are just backwards. I'm so sorry. It's the most backward shit I've ever seen in my life. And then also, when it comes to Young Miami, it's like, this is just very interesting because weren't y'all just mad at Young Miami Ain't y'all supposed to be anti Diddy and anti all the people like Young Miami who enabled Diddy because he abused and scammed so many people? And now y'all are defending her song about scammers? You're defending a song glorifying scammers after you just got mad at Young Miami for being on the side of Diddy, who is known for scamming artists, music artists. So do you see how that looks, y'all? Like, I just I don't think Black people, like, as a collective, like, realize how slow they look. Seriously. I really don't. Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. It's like, I mean, oh my God. I just feel like Black people are so embarrassing. But see, this is why, y'all, this is why I burned the cape a long time ago. This is why I stopped being pro Black years ago, because the Black community is just so backwards. And y'all hate when I say this because it sounds so doom and gloom. But I just feel like Black people are too far gone at this point. I don't see it being fixed. Unfortunately, I don't. I mean, it's too far gone. And I put this video in here. And this kind of, when I saw this clip, y'all, I was like, oh yeah, Black people it's done. It's done. Look at this.
Spin that sheet, spin that sheet, spin that sheet, spin that sheet.
Where all my
nigga says, spend that money, sad. 25th is hard to guess. Girl gonna go, yeah, bet. Booties need just way, yeah, bet. Stuff that shit, yeah, bet. Just to sit and pop some tag. Girl gonna go, yeah, bet. Spin the sheet. Spin this shit. Spin this shit.
Okay, let me cut that off because I don't want to get a copyright. But yeah. And y'all heard the adults laughing in the background. So I don't see how any Black person can see something like that and be okay with it. Like, and when I saw that, y'all, was like, oh yeah, it's over. It's over. Like, I think it was somebody in the last live stream that was like, yeah, the culture is cooked. It is. Like, this is beyond repair, y'all. Like, it's over. Like, there's always gonna be like a segment of Black people, hood, ghetto Black people like that, who just don't care about this kind of stuff. And I think that is part of what Arie was talking about, and why she was saying that is just, they're not gonna care, you know. But when I saw those kids, I was like, oh wow, yeah, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Because this is the next generation. You know, they're gonna grow up to be adults one day. And they're gonna, most likely, most of them are gonna teach their kids that they have the same thing. So, you know, and there are literal stats out there, and I know y'all seen them, but there are stats showing that a large percentage of Black children lack proficiency in reading. They don't even know how to read, y'all. They barely know how to read. They lack proficiency in mathematics as well. Yet they know all the lyrics to this trash ass song. And you got Black people out here laughing about it. And they just don't see how this is a bad look. But, and I don't know, like when I hear y'all have these conversations about respectability and about, you know, how we shouldn't attack the people, we should attack the system. But it's like, y'all don't see how you're helping the system in this case. You don't see how you're helping the racists that you claim to hate funnel your children into the school to prison pipeline. Y'all are helping to funnel the children into that pipeline, yet you claim to be against the system. Oh, attack the system and not the people. Y'all are not attacking the system by supporting this trash ass music and allowing your children to repeat it. You're actually facilitating the system. And what you say is the destruction specifically of the Black community. You're facilitating that. Because out of all the commentary I've heard about this, I haven't heard one person explain how songs like this, songs like Spin That Shit, actually challenge the system and benefit Black people. I mean, I haven't really heard any arguments that make sense. I just keep hearing about, oh, respectability, respect. And then I keep hearing people bring up representation and the tired argument, oh, Black people aren't a monolith and every kind of Black person deserves representation. But we know y'all don't really feel that way because this is the only representation that y'all put on a pedestal. Or let me say this. This is the kind of, you put this kind of representation on a pedestal more than any other Black representation. And then whenever Black people who are not ghetto or ghetto enough for you are represented, then y'all want to cry about how anti-Black it is, like y'all did with the Ralph Lauren Oak Bluffs ad, like you did with Black women in luxury, right? What happened to, oh, Black people aren't a monolith then? So no, you really do want Black people to be a monolith. You just don't want to admit that you only prefer one kind of representation. That's what it is. A lot of y'all only prefer one type of representation. You only prefer one type of aesthetic for Black people, and that's the ghetto hood one. That's really what it is, because anytime it's something different, y'all cry about it. You complain about it. But then when the other side complains and we're like, yeah, we don't want to see that ghetto shit, then it's, oh, we're not a monolith. And everybody's allowed representation. Okay, well, I don't want to hear it the next time a brand decides to promote some classy Black people, some bougie Black people. I don't want to hear it. And then look how y'all are treating a lot of y'all. And when I say y'all, it obviously applies to who it applies to, right? Not my followers. It's the people who have a problem with what Arie said. But look at how Black people treat Arie, even just for having an opinion on this song. And she is different kind of representation. Obviously there are other neo soul artists, but she's in the minority. So she's in the minority, and y'all don't like her either. Even though she's been very successful, she's been a very successful artist. A lot of Black people have supported her music, but just the visceral, nasty responses that she's getting from Black people right now, it just shows how a lot of Black people actually feel about her kind of representation. I mean, you would think that she cursed Young Miami out or something. Like, with the way Black people are carrying on, you would think that she just said something horrible about that girl. And I was just like, dang, like, yeah, maybe she could have, again, either called out the men or just, spoken in generalizations, made it a little bit general so it didn't seem so confrontational. But the way I see people attacking this lady is insane. And that brings me to Trick Daddy. Let's listen to a little bit of what he had to say. And y'all let me know if what he said to her equals what she said about Young Miami. Like, because this is crazy.
Got some more shit to say. Again, shout out to Young Miami. Got the hottest record in the fucking world. Not just the country. The hottest record in the world. They singing this shit in China, in Russia, Ethiopia, goddammit. Shout out to Young Miami. One of the baddest shit, the finest little shit in the game right now. You bad body old bitches, not one fuck to be giving how you feel about this young girl and her song. All the negative music that come out, you want to simply try to target a young Black female that's doing something positive, that's in her bag right now. You talked about her bad when she put out certain singles. You talked about her bad over and over again with situations with who the nigga she was dealing with. Everything y'all get on this fucking internet and act like y'all life is all peaches and cream. But I know you old bad breath smelling ass bitches. I know you. I know you mad. I know you hoes is mad and you jealous. You look at that young fine girl on that stage rocking these clubs each and every night, these appearances, these hosts. She dropping her hottest single out there. Young Miami, you better not let these old ragla ass bitches deter nothing you trying to do. That's why I don't fuck you old bitches. That's why I would not fuck one of you old bitches.
Girl, raise your hand if you're an old bitch that wants to fuck Trick Daddy. I cannot. I was like, was it worth all of this? And look at this nigga. Like, this nigga looks like diabetes and liver failure. Literally, nigga, you look at his face. He looks like his organs are failing. Like, dude, you can see the jaundice in his eyes. Did y'all see that shit? Like, he just looked like he on his last leg talking all of that shit. Like, I can't. And it's like, who wants to fuck you? And then I didn't play all of it, but I listened to it earlier. But he was like, yeah, the young girls, they wanna fuck. They just trying to do hookah. They just trying to have fun. What young girls want to fuck you, Trick Daddy? No young girl wants to fuck your fat, nasty, geriatric ass. They don't want you. And if they do, it's only because of the little coin you got left. Could you imagine any young girls in here? Do y'all want to fuck? Raise your hand if you're a young girl in the chat and you want to fuck Trick Daddy. Child, them young girls probably throw up in their mouth a little bit when that nigga get on top of them. Like, ooh, gross. I mean, disgusting. But it wasn't worth all of that. And do you see how this is what I mean by the nasty vitriol, the vitriolic reaction coming from the Black community, and especially from Black men. But this is why I always say, y'all, the Black male worship in the Black community, it really does make some of the worst niggas arrogant and more vocal than they should be, in my opinion. And it's not just Trick Daddy. That's just one example. But because it's men all over the internet who look just like him without the money, without the fame. And they're shitting all over Black women who they think they're better than when they're not. But it's like, dude, you look like you halfway in the casket, sir. You don't need to be talking about no old bitches. Like, some of these niggas need to be disqualified to speak. Like, I can't even believe. Like, it's just the audacity for me. That's all I'm saying. It's just the audacity. They have too much audacity. Maddie Love says, as a 46-year-old woman, I only listen to this type of music to keep up with my teenager. It's so exhausting because I need to know. Oh my God. How old is your teenager? And that's the thing. Like, a lot of people will say, they'll be like, oh, you know, why are the parents letting their children listen to the music? A lot of times, y'all, that's easier said than done, because it's like, if you send your child off to school, his or her friend might have an iPhone with a song on it, and they might be listening to it on their lunch break or something. And even though you don't allow your child to listen to that, they might hear the song through another kid. So unless you're homeschooling or something, like, that kind of stuff is just very hard to avoid. And I feel like y'all kind of say that to kind of, and don't get me wrong, I do agree that the parents need to be hands-on and not allow their children to listen to certain things as much as they can. But that can only go so far, is what I'm saying. Because I know how I was when I was a teenager. There were certain things I wasn't allowed to do, but I did anyway. Like when I went to school or went over to my friend's house or something like that, or I went to the mall or to a party or something like that. So yeah, the kids should definitely be paying attention to what the parents should be paying attention to what their children are doing. But at the same time, it is also up to these entertainers to watch what they're putting out and to be mindful of that. And I just feel like if they're going to do it, like, y'all need to be able to take some criticism. It is okay to criticize this trash ass music. We don't all have to accept it in the Black community. We don't all have to like it. There are people who are, we're allowed to call it out and call out why it's problematic and why the messages in most of this mainstream music that the Black community puts out, we are allowed to talk about why it is harmful to the kids and honestly to the adults as well. But the level of vitriol coming from Black people, coming from men like Trick Daddy, it does not match what Aniya actually said, and it's very telling. But it's obvious, you know, Aniya, she's a dark-skinned Black woman. She doesn't have the baddie aesthetic like Young Miami. On top of that, she is older. So, of course, the default response is going to be, oh, you're just old, you're ugly, you're a hater. And listen, I'm not saying that there isn't any jealousy going on between like the older artists in the industry when it comes to younger artists. There is rivalry, there's jealousy between older artists, younger artists. We definitely see that with a lot of the female rappers in the industry. You know, we see that all the time with the older artists, whether it be male or female. You know, they might be a little bit jealous of the younger people who come in. It happens, right? But two things can be true at once. There are older artists who are jealous of younger artists, and Young Miami's song and all these other songs that glorify degeneracy and dysfunction in the Black community, they're trash. And the messages are terrible for Black people. And in this case, Black women specifically. All of that is true. And that's really not debatable. And every Black woman calling out the obvious, we're not haters, we're not miserable, contrary to popular belief. Many of us are thriving. Okay. We just don't like our image being tied to all this ghetto hypersexual hood shit that these female rappers especially are pushing. And we don't like younger Black girls being influenced by it. And we're allowed to voice our opinions about it. We're allowed to do that. Yeah, Black Widow says those rappers disrespected Oprah when she questioned rap's influence on the Black community, though. Yeah. I mean, they disrespected Oprah. They disrespected C. Dolores Tucker back in the 90s when she came out and said something. She and C. Dolores Tucker, I put a screenshot in here. When she did this, Tupac went in on her. The male rappers dragged this woman for filth. And what ended up happening? Tupac, Biggie died over this shit. Died over the lyrics and the music. And y'all keep talking about how music is not influential. How can you say that after the Tupac and Biggie beef? How can you say it's not influential? Like, that's really the part I'm not understanding in this conversation. Yeah, and she did. C. Dolores Tucker did call out the men and the women. She sure did. Yeah, R.I.P. C. Dolores Tucker. But yeah, this mainstream music, y'all, it influences people. And listen, the higher ups know that. All these music executives, they understand. They're doing it on purpose. They intentionally push these kind of songs to the forefront because they want to make Black people the permanent underclass. They want this music to influence them negatively. And you would think with how many of y'all so-called woke liberal Black people who are against the system and you want to attack the system, you want to fight the system, you would think that you would see how making yourself the face of scamming and degeneracy is actually supporting the racist system that you claim to hate in this country. You're supporting it. And that's why they love y'all dumb leftist Black people. And I have to say it. They love y'all because y'all stupid. Maddie Love says Black men have been allergic to accountability since the 90s. Girl, since before that. But yeah, Black people, they're just some of the dumbest woke people I have ever seen in my life. Y'all claim to be so woke and so smart, but you're stupid at the same time. It's like, it's just ridiculous. And, that's why I do agree with what India said about Black people just not caring, because, this isn't a new conversation. If C. Dolores Tucker went against gangster rap in the 90s and we're still here now having the same conversation, and India Arie got the same response she did in back then and now in 2026, like, come on. It's just going to it's going to continue to be a circular conversation. We're just going to keep having this conversation over and over and over again. And Black people are going to keep fighting to be the face of depravity, basically until we're the permanent underclass. It's not going to change if we're still having these conversations. So I say all that to say, Black women, the only thing we can do at this point is separate ourselves from the people, the Black people, whether it be Black men, Black women, whoever, who co-sign stuff like this Young Miami song. Like, we just have to separate ourselves from anybody who defends the ratchetry the best that we can. And we have to level up as much as we can, not just individually, but also when it comes to helping to push the imagery and the representation that is beneficial to us, right? We have to continue to push that to the forefront, both online and in the mainstream. This is why I always talk about, corrective promotion. This is why it's so important, ladies. Corrective promotion is so important. It's important to put our weight behind the Black women artists who are not ratchet, who are not hypersexual, who are not perpetuating any kind of harmful imagery and stereotypes about Black women. Sahi carries, or Sahi, I don't know how you pronounce your name. She says, Trick Daddy looks like the snot from the Mucinex commercial. I can't. He does, though. You can hear the mucus in his throat. You can see the jaundice in his eyes. He looks like a walking liver disease. That's what he looks like. And then all the craters on his face. So I keep telling y'all, Black men, unfortunately, Black women have contributed to that, though. We have contributed to making Black men so arrogant. The ugliest, the most disgusting Black men arrogant like that. Like, that's unfortunately part of Black women's fault. Unfortunately. Melinda says, but do you think that one day the corrective promotion will outshine the bad promotion? I don't have a lot of hope that it will, but at least if we can just make a dent in the narrative, then I'm okay with that. If we can just convert just a small portion of Black women one at a time, I'm okay with that. Wait and Exhale says, DEI is the same, crying to make ourselves the face of a program that benefited white women most statistically, but cry when we get called DEI hires. Yeah, that's very true. I said that before, like, why are y'all claiming that so hard when it's white women who benefited from that the most? Especially when y'all know how hard a lot of us be having to work to get the type of recognition and opportunities that we get. Like, why would you? I wouldn't even want to claim that shit. Lupita Nyong'o as Helen of Troy should help with corrective promotion. I hope so. Has anybody seen? Is it out yet? I think I saw somewhere where it was either about to come out or it's actually came out already. But yeah, unfortunately, y'all, we are outnumbered. I mean, when I was looking at everybody, especially on TikTok, all the Black women especially defending this song, even the virality of the song, the defense of the song, it really unfortunately does show that women like us are in the minority. So all we can do at this point is separate ourselves, burn the cape, come together as like-minded women, and just, you know, put out and support the representation and imagery that we want to see to counter some of the bullshit. And I also think that we need to, download Arie's new album. I know she has a new album out. And listen, there are some things I don't like about Arie, but I will definitely take her over Young Miami all day long. And let's just listen to a little bit what she had to say. And I really like Arie because she responds with grace. She's very mature. She's way more mature than I would be. Because baby, after Trick Daddy said that, ooh, the way I would have dragged that nigga for filth, ooh, baby, I would have hurt some feelings. It would have been bad. So Arie is a better woman than me. Let's listen to what she had to say.
It is being wrongly reported that I think we should boycott this song of the summer. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I refuse to sing that song, but either you know what it is or you don't. And if you don't, you can go find it. It's very easy. But I don't think we should boycott. What I want is to see people understand the power of words and music and to make choices that are healthy for them. That's what I want. Do I think it matters what I want for people? No. I have finally learned that it doesn't matter and that there's no amount of sacrificing my life force energy that is going to make anybody want anything better for themselves. All I can do is emanate what I emanate, stand for what I stand for, and hope that it reaches who it's meant to reach. And that's it. And that's all I'm going to do. And so my comment makes it very clear that I don't think we should boycott. My comment is tantamount to everybody doesn't want the same thing. And there are a lot of people who are saying it's just a song. Well, if that's what you think, enjoy. But what I know is that music has power. But of course, I have used that power to help some people. And I have traveled around this world twice. And I see the impact of what we export out of the Black American experience to the rest of the world. Longer story for another time, but I've seen it, so I know. And I'm telling you what it is, but you enjoy if that's what you want to do. And I will enjoy doing what I want to do. And that's why I don't think anybody needs to boycott. I think people just need to make.
Yeah, so that's what she had to say. And like I said, she responded with a lot of grace. To me, like I said, when you look at what she wrote in response to this lady who commented, like, it did not warrant the response that she got from Black people. And to me, she just kind of proved their points, honestly. All this dysfunctional messaging we have in our entertainment is just, to me, it really has destroyed the minds of Black people. The literacy rate is very low. People can't comprehend what it is they're reading and what it is people are saying. And the way people respond is just so Blackistan and ghetto and dysfunctional and disgusting. And so, yeah, I wish, like I said earlier, GDL, I do wish she would have called out the male rappers. But either way, like, she didn't deserve that kind of response, is what I'm saying. Regardless of if she, didn't call out the men, like, it wasn't that deep to me. It really wasn't. But, listen, trying to reason with hood rats and all these ghetto people, all these radical leftists and feminists who think like Young Miami, who think like Trick Daddy, who think like all these ghetto people who are responding to Arie, it's pointless. And so, if I was Arie, I just wouldn't have said anything at all. There's no reasoning with these kind of people. The only thing we can do at this point is continue to create a counter narrative to what the Young Miamis are putting out, to what these Black men are putting out, and not support them as well. That's another thing. Stop listening to their musics. And I know a lot of y'all here, you don't go to their shows, but that's obviously how they make the most money. So stop going to their shows. Also, stop giving them this social media clout. Stop following them on social media. So that's little small things you can do to just stop supporting these people. And then also, like I said about the imagery, as a Black woman, you can individually just show up as something different in your everyday life. To me, these mammies, when it comes to like the Young Miamis or whatever, they have a look. They have a certain look. And every day I strive not to look like that. Like, I don't want to be mistaken for one of these, ghetto rap baddies. I don't like that baddie aesthetic. I don't want to be mistaken for that shit. So I just make sure to carry myself the complete opposite way. So that's another thing you can do. You can just go, whatever they do, you need to do the complete opposite in Blackistan. Whatever they do in Blackistan, do the complete opposite. So show up differently, and also support platforms like mine, other platforms that are similar. That's all you can do at this point. That's all you can do. Because we're not going to change the minds of these ghetto people. And also keep your children away from their kids. And I know that sounds harsh, but that's what you got to do. You got to keep your children away from them, because you don't want that shit rubbing off on your kids either. Yes, Amber J says wigs, baby hair, spider lashes, bonnets, claw nails. Yep, all of that. And this is not to say, because I know somebody's going to say it, this is not to say that you have to, look like Arie and you got to put on your head wrap and, walk around in African attire, whatever. Nobody's saying that. Okay. But you can tone it down. You don't have to walk out the house looking like Young Miami. Okay. With your, 40-inch bust downs and all that shit. And the exaggerated hair, eyelashes, all that stuff. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, I wouldn't, if I had kids, oh no, they wouldn't be around none of that ghetto shit. Yeah, Miss Felix Catta says, same, Chrissy. I intentionally do the opposite of the hood rich aesthetic. Same here. Same here. Well, Jazz says that isn't harsh at all. Some people think, they think that's really mean, but I mean, you have to say it like it is. You can't really sugarcoat it. Not when you got kids running around talking about some spin that ish. Yeah. My kids wouldn't be going nowhere with it. Immediately, if I saw this and my kid went to that school, I would immediately take them out. Immediately. Withdraw. We gonna enroll you into a different school. But again, I don't see how Black people can see something like that and still say that kind of music is okay. But whatever. And then, when I saw a lot of people under that particular video, people were like, oh, well, when you guys were younger, you were singing certain songs, not at that age. I wasn't reciting rap songs and stuff until I was well into almost high school, definitely middle school, maybe 7th, 8th grade. I wasn't that young. And to me, middle school's still too young, but it seems like the age is getting younger and younger. And so, yeah, it's getting worse. And, when I see stuff like that, I'm like, yeah, well, the plan worked. We're headed to be as a collective, Black people are on their way to being the permanent underclass. And y'all think this shit is okay. Y'all are actually defending it. And all the people who say that they're so against the system and how we need to attack the system and not the person, you're feeding right into what the system wants. They want this shit. They want this ghetto, dysfunctional shit on display in front of the world. They want Black people defending it so their groups can look better. That's another thing y'all not realizing. It's an optics thing too. They want to intentionally push this kind of music out to the forefront so that their groups will look better. Even though, again, like y'all were saying, there are scammers in every group. There are scammers. They're higher up scammers in the government, political scammers. insurance companies, the medical industry. Yeah, we agree. There are scammers in those industries, but they're not covert. They're not overt with it. They're more covert. And that's what Black people aren't getting. That's what makes them a little bit more strategic than us. They're not wearing it when they walk out the house. They're not wearing it on their bodies. They're not saying all of that shit in their music for the most part. And yeah, you'll bring up the exceptions. You'll bring up like some of the alternative musicians who sing about murder and all that stuff. You'll bring that up, but it's not the majority. And so that's the difference. And y'all be trying to act like y'all don't see the difference. No, it's different. It's totally different, and that is why their groups have a better reputation than us. Period. Even if there are scammers in other communities, they have a better reputation because they know how to keep that shit quiet, or quieter than Black people. They know how to do that shit. And so at this point, I don't know why Black people are still complaining at this point about being pegged as scammers and criminals, because y'all are co-signing it now. Like, I kind of don't want to hear it anymore. Like, when white people stereotype you, I don't want to hear it, because you got a whole song out there that you're defending, basically saying what white people say, that you're criminals and that you're scammers. And it's cool to be that. So I don't get the point of complaining about it now. I don't get it. Oh God, hi computer, y'all. It's not letting me highlight the comments. Oh, there it goes. Carmela says, our nigmunity loves praising the worst of us. Not nigmunity. I can't. Oh yeah, that's a good point. The media bar says we had radio versions in Kids Bop. Yeah, I remember Kids Bop. Is that even still a thing anymore? But yeah, there were like radio versions for sure. But yeah, anyway, that's all I had to say on that. Let's see. Did I miss a super chat? I don't think so. And thank you guys for the super chats as well. If I didn't say thank you so much. So let's move on to the BET Awards. Again, this is something I really don't have too much to say about. But I did watch it, and I did honestly, the only part I liked was the Lauryn Hill tribute. I thought that was really, really good. And who, I'm trying to remember now. Let me look at the pictures. Yeah, the whole performance was good. I didn't put old girl from Sister Act on here, but yeah, what's her name? You guys can put it in the chat. That was very nostalgic. It took me back to the days, and those of you who are millennials, I would say that I know you felt that was nostalgic too, when she was up there singing. Ooh, and she sounded so good. I thought Lizzo and Rhapsody did good. I was happy to see Rhapsody up there performing. Doechii and SZA did really good. And I feel like Doechii honestly was the perfect choice for this tribute, because she's actually a good rapper. And when I see performances like this, honestly, it just reminds me of how much the music industry is lacking in talent right now. Yeah, Sister Act too. But does that happen to anybody else? Because like when I was watching this, I was like, dang, it's just the girls ain't got it. Like, yeah, honestly, the show was actually pretty good, Mariah, but I agree. Like, it wasn't as good as what everybody was saying. But you know what I think? I think what it is though, because it was better this year than it has been in the last several years. A lot of people just really thought it was just so good. That's why. That's why. Yeah. And so Yeah, Tiara and Tim's. Oh my goodness, just actual talent on the stage. It was just nice to see. I was like, okay, they killing it. They killing it. I liked Queen Latifah and Common. Eric Gales, that guitar solo. Oh my God. He is so talented. And he did really well. And so, yeah, I think this was just my favorite part of the show. What else do we have on here? Let me see. What other pictures did I put on here? Kaylani. You know what? Folded is not my favorite song. I will be honest. I do like the slower rendition of Folded. And, I thought she performed well. Even though that's not my favorite song, Kaylani's not really my favorite artist. I thought she did pretty well. And the set design was really nice or whatever. I know the people who believe in like the Illuminati, I know they probably had something to say about this, but I thought it was pretty good. Who else do we have on here? We have Ray. Ray, I like Ray's voice, and I think she's a really good singer. She can sing really good live. But I think I said this about Ray before. She was just doing too much. Like, it's just, I feel like she's one of those people who want everybody to know she can sing real good. And so she like overdoes it a little bit. She'll overdo it, like the runs and stuff. A little bit overdone. I think her on the D'Angelo tribute was a little bit better. But yeah, that's my only critique of Ray. It's like, girl, we know you can sing. You don't have to do all that. And so, yeah, that's my opinion on Ray. Tiana Taylor, I thought her and Janet's interaction was so cute. Like, I really like their interaction. And y'all know, listen, I hated One Battle After Another. Y'all know I did my review on that movie. Hated that fucking movie. But I will give Tiana her props for just being multifaceted and being able to do multiple different things. Like, she's out here directing movies, she's acting, she's doing music, she's dancing, she always looks amazing. So, she's very talented. So I'll give her that. Now, what do y'all think? Do y'all think she deserved Icon of the Year? And I think that's what it was. It was Icon of the Year, not necessarily like, because I think Lauryn Hill got Ultimate Icon, right? So that's different from Icon of the Year. I think they were just highlighting what she's accomplished in a year, the last year. So, I think that's what it was. Y'all said no, you don't think she deserves. Yeah, because I was like, Icon, I don't know if they should have used that word. Maybe just highlight, that she killed the game for the last year in a different way. But Icon of the Year, I don't know. But I do think she's very talented. And I think she's one of those people that's good at multiple different things. A lot of people aren't good at that, so that's why I'm happy for her. And again, I like the interaction she had between her and Janet. But what I'm gonna need Tiana not to ever do again is a movie like One Battle After Another. Like, we don't need to see that you in those kind of roles again. It was terrible representation for Black women. The optics were terrible. And it does say a lot. Like I said in my video review about the movie, it does say a lot that a Black woman is rewarded for that kind of depiction. It's a reason why she was rewarded for that and why she's gotten so many, so much praise since doing that. It's very telling. Very, very telling. Who else do we have on here? Drewski, I don't know. What do y'all think? I didn't really start laughing at Drewski until he and Kiki kind of did their thing together in the audience. I thought that part was really funny. I did laugh at that part, but it started out really slow for me. And I think I said this, like when I had found out that he was hosting, I said it. I was like, I don't know if he's funny enough to host the award show. And it kind of gave what I expected it to give. It was just okay to me. Like, it's hard to transfer skits sometimes into like a live show, especially when you're hosting. And it's like, everybody saw the Preacher skit. That's kind of old now. So I don't think he should have started with that. It should have started with something different. We don't want to see the Preacher skit again. We didn't need to see you like flying through the air and all that. Like, to me, it was just kind of played out a little bit. But I think his Jay-Z bit was kind of funny. That was kind of funny too. But yeah, it's just he was just okay to me. He was just okay. So yeah, who else do we have on here? Cardi B, again, and I hate to compare, but the Lauryn Hill tribute after the Cardi B performance, it just makes you realize again the lack of talent. Like, I just think Cardi B sounds slow when she raps. She's just one of those slow sounding rappers, and it was just okay to me. But I mean, I guess the girls like her, and y'all know I will give somebody props on their music if they're a good musician, even if I don't like them. Cardi has good work ethic, but I don't like her music. Sorry, not sorry. Who do we have next? The D'Angelo tribute. This, I thought Arie Lennox sounded really good. Arie sounds and looks great. Like, baby, she done got that weight off. She looks amazing. Duran Bernard sounded great as usual. I love his voice. He can sing his ass off. But overall, I think the tribute was just okay. Like, I would have loved to hear some Angie Stone too. Like, I was like, okay, why y'all didn't mix some Angie Stone up in there with his tribute? Like, why didn't you do a tribute to her too? Like, I don't know, has BET already done a tribute to her? Maybe I'm tripping. I don't think so though. But it's like, I was kind of confused on why they didn't like add Angie Stone in there. Yeah. Kaner says, Chrissy, we think alike. Cardi raps like she hasn't finished her Hooked on Phonics lessons. Yeah. Really, really bad. No, what performance are you talking about? The D'Angelo performance? I don't know. And don't get me wrong, like the Vanguard, D'Angelo's band is really good, but I've heard better from them. It was just okay to me. And I also feel like Duran, he sounded, don't get me wrong, he sounded real good. I mean, Duran can never sound bad, but they could have showed his skills better on a different song. Like, maybe How Does It Feel? Like, I get they wanted to show, like, I feel like maybe Duran should have sang that one instead of showing D'Angelo singing that one. Like, why didn't you give him that song? He would have killed that shit. So I just feel like there were some missed opportunities. That's how I feel. Oh, Angie Stone was last year? Okay. Yeah, I think so too. The Grammys D'Angelo tribute was better too. Who else do we have on here? Let's see. Is that it? Is that all? Because really, it wasn't too much that happened where I was like, because the way people was going on and on about the show, I was like, okay, let me watch and see. Like, and it was just like, it wasn't giving all that to me, in my opinion. It was, again, a better show than it was the last several years, but it just, to me, it was just like, eh. I was obviously happy for SZA and Doechii, so shout out to them. Happy for them always. But yeah, I think that's all I have on here. Like I said, I was really happy to see Doechii and SZA get their things. I was happy to see Rhapsody up here, Tierra Whack, Tim's, like, again, the Lauryn Hill set was the best one. Sorry. That was the best one. That was really the standout of the whole show. So yeah, that's all I have on that. Now, as far as the red carpet, I'm not going to get into everybody's looks. I just kind of pulled out the looks that I personally liked. Marseille, I don't like her right now because, she was talking shit about Aniya on Love Island and, kind of caping for Casey a little bit. But I like this look. I think it looks good. I like the look. Marseille. I like the sheer at the bottom with the kind of the corset I like that. Real cute. Who else do we have? We have Jodie Turner-Smith. Now I'm looking at this, I don't know how much I like it. Maybe if her hair was up a little bit, I would like it a little bit better. But I still think she's stunning. I still think she's beautiful, and so I added her anyway. Who is next? Doechii. I like this dress on Doechii. Is that what is that? It kind of looks like crochet a little bit, but I really like this on her. Yeah. And I'm sorry, I didn't even include like the designers, who was wearing what or whatever. But yeah, I really like this outfit. I like the brown. Yeah, Coco Jones is next. Yeah, this is really nice. It kind of, I don't know. I feel like it's missing something. I can't really put my finger on it, but I do love this outfit. I think Coco always looks good. And I really love to see like dark skinned women in red. So I really like her outfit. Flo Milli, I like this look. I like this goth look on her. I like the hair. To me, head to toe, this is a good look. And I'm normally like, that goth look can get real tacky real fast. But the way she made it look goth and formal at the same time, I like this. And I don't think I've ever seen Flo Milli look like this before. But yeah, I was like, ooh, I like this look on her. And it's fitted well, it's tailored perfectly. I love and again, like the sheerness of the dress. That kind of stuff can look tacky real quick. And I like the way it still looks kind of elegant a little bit. And it doesn't look cheap. That's another thing about those like gothic looks. Like, it can look cheap real fast. Y'all don't like it? I like this look on her. I like it. Who else do we have? Of course, Alandria looked absolutely gorgeous. I love this yellow. And I also feel like this is in season. Like, this is summer. It's summertime. Looks like Alandria kills it every single time. Oh my goodness. She looks amazing. Just beautiful as always. I don't know what designer this is, but beautiful. Who do we have next? We have Tim's. Yeah, I added Tim's in here not because I love the dress, but with her, I just feel so seen. Because we have a similar body type. She's chocolate. She's beautiful. I love that. She's thickalicious. I love Tim's. So I just added her in here just because. But I do kind of like the dress. It's not my favorite, but I don't know what designer this is either. Wait, who has implants? Who y'all talking about? Y'all talking about Alandria? I don't think Alandria has implants. And you know who I forgot? Because I did see, I was happy to see Momo Boyd up there, but was she on the red carpet? Let me look it up. Yeah, let's see here. Momo Boyd. Wait, y'all are saying that Alandria has breast implants? Girl, I thought those were real. I thought her titties was real. It looked like she just got a good bra on. Let me see. BET Awards. Wait. Yeah, I don't. Well, wait, is this her on the red carpet? Oh, I don't like this dress though, but she looked very beautiful though. In her actual performance. Y'all are saying her titties are fake? Yeah, Momo Boyd looked very beautiful in her performance with what's his name? Oh, y'all are saying no, I definitely don't think she has a petite BBL. Maybe she does have implants. I didn't think she did though, but I'm gonna just say allegedly. But yeah, that's all I had on the BET Awards. Like I said, it was just okay to me. Just a few honorable mentions, but I do agree with what everybody who said that the show this year was way better than it has been in previous years. So for that reason, it was better, but it's still like it could have been better as far as the actual performances. So yeah, that's that. Now let's move on to Love Island. And I wanted to finish before Love Island actually came on, but it's 9:30. So girl, yeah, I knew that wasn't gonna happen. But I don't really have too much to say about Love Island either, honestly. Um, but it was karaoke night, and we're gonna see what happens tonight. But it's very obvious to me that production is in on like keeping Kenzie, I think Kenzie and Dylan in the villa, because I'll be honest with you, even though I really don't like um Corbin that much. Well, I didn't like Corbin at all. I'll just be honest with you. I didn't like him at all. Um I do think he and Parmita are more compatible than Kenzie and Dylan. And let me ask you guys a question. For you guys who are familiar with Love Island, and I haven't seen the looks at Taylor's wedding. Did you see the guest fashion looks at Taylor Swift's? I haven't seen that. I'll have to look that up. But tell me, you guys, has any other season of Love Island had karaoke night, and specifically a karaoke night where the couple has won and it has saved them from being kicked out the villa? That's what I want to know. Because when I saw this, it just seems like to me it's like production wanted them to stay because they're like the only white couple left on the show. I'm sorry, that's what it's kind of given a little bit. But because the girls on TikTok do not like Kenzie and Dylan. And I feel like if it wasn't for that karaoke challenge, they would have went home because the people probably voted them off. You said you don't think you've seen karaoke before? Yeah. Grace said it's giving DEI. It is giving DEI. Yes, it is definitely giving DEI. Yeah, production definitely saved them. So nobody's answered the question. Like, I guess I don't know if this has ever happened before in Love Island history. I don't know, but I thought that was interesting. I did think that was interesting. Now, I will say that Kenzie and Dylan, to me, they had the best karaoke performance. So they did have the best performance, but I don't know if that should be a reason for them to stay in the villa. Like, if the people voted them out, get them out the villa. You know what I mean? Like, that shouldn't protect them from being kicked out. And so that's kind of what makes me think that production had a hand in it. But their little set was cute. Their set was cute. Yeah, I heard about Ace and Adreina. Is that true? Is that true that they hooked up? And if they hooked up, if Ace and Adreina, and we're talking about season 7 now, real quick, but if Ace and Adreina actually hooked up, was it during the time he was with Shelly or after? Like, what? So wait, he cheated on? Is it true, y'all? Like, because when I heard about it, I was like, okay, well, where's the evidence? But they said that Shelly's best friend is airing out the tea, honey. Okay, he says, Chrissy, it hasn't happened before. They got kicked out because we saw Dylan following people on Instagram. Then somehow they were brought back behind the scenes. They did rig it for Kenzie and Dylan. Yeah, it's obvious that that's what they did. Yeah. Oh, y'all saying it's true? Adrian confirmed it. Who's Adrian? Are you saying Adreina, or is Adrian her friend? Yeah, La Vie says Shelly unfollowed Ace and Adreina yesterday. Okay, so yeah, and that's supposed to be her friend, and she hooked up with Ace. Even if it wasn't when they were together, it's like, aren't they supposed to be friends? Oh, Adriana. Okay. Yeah, I'm not surprised either. And listen, y'all, what you see now about Kate or about Ace, something similar is going to come out about KC later. Like, I don't know what y'all gonna have to do to get it through your heads that these black men ain't shit for the most part. Most of them are not. So it's like, girl, and Shelly fucked up her whole career outside of the villa over that nigga. And for what? For nothing. But do you see why we say what we say? And I feel like all you mammies who are defending KC, something like this is going to happen with KC too. And y'all are going to have egg on your face. Just mark my words. It's a pattern at this point. Y'all remember how Clay from Love is Blind, he got out the villa and hooked up with Selena Powell? It's going to be some shit like that. Like I think it was from Love is Blind, right? Or was it Married at First? I don't remember. I think it's Love is Blind. Oh, yeah, I heard that too, that Clark hooked them up. Clark hooked up Adreina and Ace. Are you surprised? I'm not. I'm not surprised at all. And let's talk about this for a minute. Now, let me first say this. I did like KC and TT's karaoke performance. I thought they did a really good job. I thought it was cute, right? But here's what I will say about this. I feel like, and I said this before, and I think that I need to repeat it. Y'all be falling too much for fake shit for me. Like, it's the same thing with Clark and Taylor. Like, they're only together right now so they can milk whatever fame that they're trying to get from the show, whatever money that they're trying to get from being, put back on the shows on Peacock. Because I think it's not Beyond the Villa, but Clark and Taylor are on another show on Peacock. What is it called? I forget. But I saw a preview of it when I was watching Love Island. But y'all, it's like, y'all want to believe in this black love stuff so bad. It's just so pathetic. And y'all can see when everybody else is fake. You can see when Bryce and Trinity are fake. You can see when all the black women who are being fake with their non-black partners, but you can't see this fake black love shit. Yeah, black men and their mammies, they came through for KC and Titi, didn't they? They voted. They're voting them now, like, because they're voting them just because they want to see. They're voting for them just because they want to see a black love couple win the show. And I still doubt that that's going to happen. But they're not happy with the fact that, one, black men on the show are not as desired as they have been in the past. So they're salty about that. And they're also mad that Trinity and Bryce are, the top couple right now. And they're mad because a lot of people like Carl and Aniya too. And it's so interesting to me because they're saying that Carl and Aniya got sympathy votes, but they're sympathy voting for KC and Titi. That's what his black love fans are doing. Y'all felt bad about this black man and his mental health because he got yelled at on the show. And so now y'all are voting for him. You feel like he got the villain edit. So now you're voting for him because you feel sorry for him. You're giving him and TT sympathy votes. So you're no different from the women who are giving Aniya sympathy votes. You're no different. You're the same. You're the same. And then what kills me about KC fans, y'all want to talk about how Carl doesn't really want Aniya. And we're going to get on Carl in a minute. But y'all want to talk about how Carl really doesn't want Aniya and he's more attracted to Kata, but you still don't want to admit that KC wanted Soul. That's who KC really wanted, even more than TT. But because Titi pursued him so hard, that's who he went with. And now y'all trying to act like they're just the most compatible couple on the show. No. Titi and Casey are there to win the money like every other couple on the show, y'all. They're not any more compatible than anybody else. It is just so crazy how y'all don't see it for what it is. But again, it's because y'all want to believe in the black love fairy tale. That's really what it is. It's just so hilarious to me. Because if you want me to be honest, like, I feel like Casey and Titi, they're giving me more of a friendly vibe. It's like we have fun together, we laugh together type shit. You know, I feel like there was more chemistry between them during Casa Amor when Titi was trying to get him to leave Aniya. But now it's like a fun, friendly vibe with them. You know, Casey said that she reminds him of his sister and his mama. That's what it's giving. It's giving family or friend of the family. And maybe I'll change my mind when I see more of them, because we don't, you know, production, they are leaving out chats between him and Titi. I will agree with KC fans on that. I think they're purposely not giving them airtime because they don't want a black couple to win. But I don't give a shit about that. I really don't. But I do see what y'all see too. But it's like, I still don't think they're as compatible as what y'all are making it out to be. And, you know, it doesn't really matter because I don't think any of the couples are, you know, I don't see longevity for any of them. And you honestly, if KC didn't start out with the pandering and he was honest about what he really wanted, I wouldn't mind he and TT winning the show. I wouldn't care. But I don't trust that nigga. And I don't like the way a lot of black women are making it seem like this is just a fairy tale black love story. It's not. It's not, ladies. I'm so sorry, but it's not. Y'all are hilarious to me. Yeah, Selena says literally none of them are groundbreaking. Now let's get to Carl and Aniya. Their little performance was cute. It was cute. I like the way, you know, it was just really cute. I like the way he dipped her in this photo. You know, I thought that was really cute. Now, here's what I will say. I don't know if y'all peeped it. I don't. And let me first say this too. I think that Aniya needs to learn how to take a compliment, okay? I don't like how Carl said she looked pretty before they went to bed, and she was like, no, I don't. Aniya, we need you to get your self-esteem up. I understand what she's been through on the show. I understand she feels bad, but she need to work on that self-esteem. Okay? She needs to learn how to take a compliment. Also, the comment that Carl made about Kata being stunning, it did raise my brow. It raised my brow a little bit. I'm not going to lie. And it did make me wonder, is Aniya your true preference, Carl? And Carl, you were my client, but I don't know. I don't know anymore. And, you know, here's the thing. It doesn't really matter if Kata is his preference. It's not the end of the world because, you know, he's not Aniya's first choice, right? He's not her preference either, which is why she chose him over KC, right? So it is what it is. But here's why I didn't like that comment, right? What I don't want to happen is Carl continuing to say things like that and kind of making it easy for people to use it against Aniya, right? One thing I like about Nick Alandria is that Nick, at least up until this point, I can't say what's going to happen in the future, but at least up until this point, Nick knows how to read the room. Nick is socially aware enough not to say or imply something or do anything that could embarrass Alandria. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, and Alandria has confidence. She sure does. Yeah. Way more confidence than Aniya. Like, Alandria knows she the shit. You know, she didn't really care what them niggas said. You know, she knows she's the shit. But, you know, I feel like Nick is keenly aware of the isms, in my opinion. So he makes sure not to open Alandria up to unnecessary scrutiny and harassment, right? I mean, Nick is so good at that he got people making up rumors about him. He got people making up rumors about him being with another woman, right? And I question if Carl has that kind of discernment, right? I do think he's just a nice guy. He's the kind of guy that freely gives compliments to every woman. You know, we saw him do that with Amora. You know, I feel like Carl is just a nice guy. He's gonna compliment a woman, right? Nothing is wrong with that. Nothing is wrong with him finding other women beautiful who don't look like Aniya. Nothing's wrong with that at all, right? But for optics purposes, I can see that turning into a problem, you know, for Aniya. And the girls who get it, you get it. You know what I mean? Because they're already crafting that narrative on TikTok. They're like, oh yeah, he really wants Kata. Then these are the KC fans, right? But they won't admit how KC really wanted Soul. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, girl, I mean, if Carl doesn't want Aniya, then KC damn for sure don't want Titi. Can we just be honest right now? If Carl doesn't want Aniya, KC didn't want her either. Like, why aren't the KC fans admitting that part of it? You can so clearly see you claim to be able to see that Carl doesn't like Aniya. How come you missed it with KC then? That's crazy. That's crazy how Carl can compliment Kata and you automatically think that means he doesn't like Aniya. But KC can go to Casa Moore and say all that shit about Aniya, and for some reason y'all don't see that he was pandering. Make it make sense, y'all. Make it make sense. And so here is what I'm saying, right? How come I can say that about Carl and side eye him, but y'all can't be honest about KC? Because I ain't gonna hold you. After that comment Carl made, again, I'm not saying it was wrong. He can do what he wants, but I'm gonna have to go with Brinity now. I'm gonna have to make them my new clients because I don't know if I can trust you, Carl. I don't know if I can trust what you, you know, I don't know if I can trust you to play the game the way that Nick is playing the game, even the way that Bryce is playing the game. I don't know if I can trust Carl to be able to do that. And honestly, I don't know if Aniya is equipped to, I don't know if she's equipped for the attention, the kind of attention that she's going to get after this show. And I really hate this for them because I think Aniya and Carl are sexy together. I think they look so good together. Honestly, I think they look better than Bryce and Trinity together. Like, I like the optics of Aniya and Carl better. I do. But I don't know. I might have to change my vote, y'all. I might have to change my vote. How do y'all feel about what Carl said? Do you think it's no big deal? I mean, he might be able to redeem himself, but I don't know. I feel like throw everybody away at this point. No, if I have to choose, it's going to be Brinity, though. If I have to choose, it's going to be Bryce and Trinity. That's just it. And then did y'all see the preview earlier when Aniya was like, she was talking about her outfit and she's like, oh, I look like a grandma. And Carl was like telling her, no, he's like, this is not a grandma outfit. I'm like, girl, please stop. Like, it's just, I need her to accept the compliment, girl. And you know, again, she's young. She's been through a lot on the show. So I understand the insecurity, but we're going to have to get that together, baby. We're going to have to get that together. I just can't. I can't do it. Pink Red says it's no big deal in the context of how he's treated Aniya. I think his words are being blown into a bigger deal. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. And then I saw somebody on TikTok say, oh, it sounded like he was going to continue complimenting all the girls and not just Kata. Oh no, girl. Y'all know me. I'm real strict, okay? I'll cut a nigga off for something small, okay? I'll cut a nigga off for something very minor. Okay. So it's like with me, it's like if you show any sort of a red flag, I'm like, yeah, no. No, I can't do it. And so I don't know. Right now, Carl is not my client anymore. And the only reason I'm voting for Bryce and Trinity is because Trin. No, that's the only reason. That's all I got. All the men on the show can go at this point. Well, but here's the thing. Like, I'm not even like that. Like, I'm perfectly okay with men complimenting other women. That's not the problem. The issue is in this atmosphere, in this Love Island atmosphere, you can't do that. Like, you can't do that, especially if the dark-skinned woman is already getting unfairly harassed, and Aniya is. So you have to be able to pick up on that and read the room and watch what the fuck you say. And if you can't watch what the fuck you say, then I can't vote for you. And so again, I don't think anything. If Carl said that, I mean, it's no problem that he finds another woman attractive. And I would say that if he was black too, like men are gonna find other women attractive. That's normal, right? Yeah, exactly. But you just can't be saying everything. You can't be saying that. Not in this context. Yeah, I agree. Natasha says the hatred Aniya is getting is awful. Yeah. It's blown out of proportion. Like what I said about India Arie earlier, like all the hatred she gets, it doesn't match what she's done on the show. Yeah, I know y'all mad because she yelled at KC, but she apologized for that. Move on. And even KC knew he was wrong. That's the whole thing about it. KC even knew he was wrong. KC even held himself more accountable than y'all mammies and hoteps are holding that nigga accountable online. Even he knew he was wrong. And at this point, y'all dragging it. Like, there's this one guy on TikTok. I think he's gay, but he's doing commentary on Love Island. And one of his videos had popped up on my For You page, and I watched it. And of course, he's Team KC. And, I just kind of ignored it. And he popped up again. And so I go to his page. All of his videos are critiquing Case or Aniya over KC. He's not even focused on his new connection with Titi. He's not even focused on that. He's more focused on critiquing Aniya. And I'm like, y'all not even focused. And this is why I said last time, like, they don't care. Black men is specifically, they don't care about this black love shit like black women. They're not voting for KC because they like the image of black love. They're voting for KC out of spite for Aniya and Trinity. That's why they're voting for KC. It don't have nothing to do with this black love stuff. And black women are just so dumb that they're not realizing it. Y'all are not even realizing why black men are really even like invested in this. And y'all are so busy caping for them that it's going right over your head. It's going right over your head. And it's sad. It's actually very sad and embarrassing. Yeah, Asia says, low-key part of me feels like Carl picked Aniya because he saw some of the love she was getting online before he came in. Possibly so. He might just be playing the game like everybody else. And again, not saying that's necessarily wrong. However, now I just got to side eye you like I'm saying to other men. It's a shame, Carl, because I liked you. I did. Didi says, Chrissy, I understand Carl's giving comment was unaware. That's bad, especially if he's with Aniya. Yeah. Yeah. Ricky says trend for the win. Absolutely. Right, exactly. Thank you. Sheree gets it. She says, exactly, Chrissy. I don't know. People don't understand. Love Island is about strategy. Also, it's not real life. Yeah, it's about optics. And that's the thing. Like, I feel like a lot of y'all, especially the mammies watching this show, y'all really believe in this shit between Casey and Titi. Y'all are really believing the game, or y'all really believing in the fairy tale when it's a game. This is a game for everybody on this show. So for me personally, I'm always willing to drop a client. I'm always willing to be like, okay, no, next. And then figure out who's, if I'm going to vote for somebody, like, again, I realize that Bryce and Trinity are playing the game. So that's who I'm voting for. I'm not actually believing in the fairy tale of them. If they are genuine and they are real, again, I think they genuinely like each other. But do I think do I see longevity for them? No. And if they last, I think that's great. But I'm not going to believe in that fairy tale. You get what I'm saying? But I feel like a lot of y'all who are looking at KC and TT, you're actually believing in the fairy tale. And I think that's the problem I have with a lot of the viewers of Love Island. Now, this shit here, girl, this is like one of the most dumbest relationships I've seen. And I just want to know who voted. Is there anybody here who voted for Melanie and Sincere? And if so, why? Because they didn't even understand how they were safe. They didn't even understand. And I kind of feel like all the people in toxic relationships are voting for Sincere and Melanie, because why else would you be voting for her? Just because you like Melanie? Is that what it is? Because even they were like, whoa, we're safe? And then when Melanie was like, oh, and sometimes I'm like, I hope Melanie is not really falling for this shit. Part of me really hopes that Melanie is just playing the game and acting. I'm hoping that she's just a really good actor, because you can't be really like falling for this nigga. You can't be really falling for this nigga shit. Because she was like, after the karaoke thing, she was like, I feel so much closer to him. I feel like we were the only ones in the room. I'm like, oh my God. I hope that she's just playing the game, girl. But she seemed like she's really, truly invested. And Sincere, I just feel like he's so fake. He's just playing the game. He's trying to win. And then he was like, oh, I don't feel like our relationship is toxic, but I just be doing toxic things. Sir, that means your relationship is toxic. Like, oh my God. And then, that's another thing that's kind of getting on my nerves. Like, everybody is for some reason blaming Aniya for Melanie staying with this nigga. Like, yeah, Aniya is stupid for like, co-signing the relationship, but all of the girls are, because Melanie is just one of those women that's just not going to listen to her friends. And so her friends are like, you know what, girl, if you like it, I love it. Like, do your thing. Fuck it. Like, you going to stay with the nigga anyway, so why should we even say anything? That's kind of probably what they're doing. But the way they're trying to like pin it all on Aniya, when all the girls are pretty much cheering her on, her and Sincere on, they're basically all saying that they want to see them together. The only one that kept it real about that shit was Parmita. That was the only one. And again, I don't think that was just about her keeping it real. I think that was also about her kind of competing with Melanie a little bit, because she felt like that was the main competition, for her and Corbin. But she did keep it real to her. But then also, Parmita, Corbin ain't shit. That's another thing. Like, Corbin ain't shit. But you think that you gonna be the only one after the villa? Girl. Now, I do feel like, I don't know. What do y'all think? Do y'all think that Corbin and Parmita are more compatible than Dylan and Kata? Not Dylan and Kata. Kata and Zach. Because I don't know. I think that they do seem to have more chemistry. But I think Kata and Zach are more about playing the game, you know. But they were very surprised that they were in the bottom. They were like, "Whoa, what?" Yeah, I definitely think that Parmita and Corbin are at the very least like they are compatible. They had a strong chemistry. And I think that I would have rather seen Kenzie and Dylan go than Corbin and Parmita, even though I don't care for Corbin. Personally, I would have rather seen that. But again, production saved Kenzie, so. Yeah, it's whatever. Is anybody watching the show right now? Like, what's happening? I'm about to watch it in a minute. Yeah, I feel like all the karaoke performances were pretty bad except for Kenzie's. Kenzie and Dylan. I don't know. I think Kenzie, though, I think Kenzie and Dylan are going to be the next to go. Yeah, they're definitely going to be the next to go. And I just feel like, yeah, Zach is trash. Yeah, come on now. Zach is playing the game like all the other men there. And honestly, I think Kata is too. Do y'all really think Kata? I mean, she did kind of break down and cry over Zach or whatever, but I don't know. It's giving that they're playing the game, especially after Kata was like, "Oh, we've been here since the beginning. We're OG, whatever she said." And she's like, "How did they make it before us?" It's like, girl, I don't know. I think the Hoteps and the Mammies really came through for KC and Titi. I think that's how they got voted more than Kata and Zach. I don't know, y'all. Who do y'all think's gonna make it to the top 3? Do you think that it's definitely gonna be Trinity and Bryce? Do you think that TT and KC will make it to the top 3 over what's her name? Kata and her man? I don't know. I definitely think that Carl and Aniya and Trinity and Bryce will be in the top 3 for sure. I just don't know who that third couple is going to be. Y'all think Melanie and Sincere is going to make it to the top 3? Oh God. If they make it to the top 3, that's going to be crazy. I don't know. Maybe they will. I didn't know Melanie had a fan base like that. Honestly, I thought everybody hated Sincere. Because I saw a lot of criticism about Sincere on TikTok. Oh, the final is a top 4. Okay. Okay, well, Kenzie and Dylan about to go, I think. So I don't know. Either way, yeah, I think Kata is really pretty too. I think Kata is actually a light skinned mixed race woman that people don't overhype. I think she actually is very pretty. And so again, I don't think anything's wrong with Carl complimenting her at all. I get it. But just in this context, I don't like it. So I'm gonna have to vote for Brenity. That's who's gonna get my vote to the end, y'all. That's who I feel the safest with, the safest voting for. Yep, that's who I feel the safest voting for. Right, exactly. Tasha said, she is, but stay in your lane, Carl. We didn't bring you back for that. Exactly. I'm glad I'm not the only one who understands. Like the girls who know. The girls who get it, get it. Asian Marie says Sincere has a halo effect because he's light skinned. So if he starts acting better, they're gonna make it. Watch. Ugh. Mm-mm. I mean, but here's the thing, y'all. Like, I get the colorism argument. Don't get me wrong, right? I get it. Sincere does have privilege, right? However, the girls voted Kenzie and Dylan at the bottom too. So if Sincere's white or light skinnedness is working for him, how come Dylan's whiteness ain't working for him? So it's like that really kind of deads the whole, oh, the men are getting preferential treatment because they're light skinned. Even though I understand what y'all are saying, I think that a lot of women are definitely giving Sincere the benefit of the doubt because he's racially ambiguous. Don't get me wrong. But you got to understand that I don't think it's mostly black women watching the show. So how the fuck did Kenzie and Dylan get at the bottom? They're white. White privilege trumps light skin privilege, y'all. So something's not adding up. Zach is white too. How he get at the bottom? That is a very good point. BC says, I think it's young women that are voting and don't see the true issues. For sure. Now, I think that the older people that hopped on the train, though, definitely the hoteps and stuff. Yeah. Aja says, you're right. I think people hate Kenzie so much, so it's kind of nuanced now. Yeah, girl. They dragging Kenzie on TikTok. So all this stuff about how, and I feel like it just all boils down to, black men especially being used to being coddled. Like, I think y'all are mad because Casey is not being coddled. I really think that's what it is. Because if what happened to Casey, let's just say Casey was sincere and Sincere did everything Casey did and he got the same kind of reaction, right? And he led somebody on and the girls were hollering at him and yelling at him, whatever. Black men would not care. They would not care because he's light skinned. He's mixed. They would not give a fuck. But because they're used to black women babying black men, now y'all are like, oh, it's just the black man who's being treated like this. Don't nobody like none of the white men on the show. What are y'all talking about? And I'm quite sure it's more white people voting than black people. I'm quite sure. Because I watch the other side of the internet, y'all. I'm just not in my little black bubble. I watch what everybody's saying. Yeah, Mimi, we talked about that Adreina and Clark, or Adreina and A stuff earlier. Yeah, that's a good point. Isabella says it's also about attractiveness, not just white, light skin privilege. Yeah, true. Very true. But, white people especially don't typically care about that. Like, they gonna vote white regardless. For the most part, usually they do. So, and I say that to say that, I'm not saying I don't see the bias. I'm not saying I don't see it at all. But I'm saying I think y'all are dragging it a little bit. I feel like y'all are exaggerating it a little bit. I talked about why I'm watching Love Island in the last live stream. Little big, whatever your name is. I talked about that last live stream. I'm talking about it because, girl, my commentary is needed because the mammying is out of control with this season. So I'm glad I watched, and I'm glad I'm giving commentary. Yeah. That's interesting. Jay says white people see Kenzie as a throwback preference for getting with mixed Corbin over MAGA Caleb. I never thought about that, but you might be right. They might definitely be holding a grudge against her because she was hooking up with black men or mixed with black men. Latinas voting for Melanie. I can definitely see that for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I think that now that you guys say it, I can kind of see that. I think Melanie probably has the same type of fans that Amaya had last season. But yeah, I mean, I just want I want honestly either Trinity or Amaya or Aniya to win. Either one. I'll take either one. Do y'all hear them fireworks? They're still at it. And yeah, they won't let it go. Nia says they're on Facebook calling Aniya colorist still to this day. They won't let it go. They still on her neck. But a lot of it is too because they don't like that she made a connection with Carl. Like they wanted her to completely go after not being paired up with Casey. That's what it is. And that's why they still on her neck because they don't feel like she deserves to be loved and to have a connection after the KC thing. Like they really don't feel like she deserves that. So they have it out for her now. And then honestly, if Casey and Titi get voted off, oh my God, they're going to be full of rage over on TikTok. They're going to be dragging both Aniya and Trinity. So that's going to be interesting if it happens, which I think it will. I don't see Casey and TT winning the show. I really don't. So I could be wrong, but I don't see them winning. They might make it to top 4, but I don't actually see them winning. Lovey says they want Aniya and Trinity to be baby mamas like them. Yeah. Or just in their miserable black love relationships, one or the other. Yeah, I addressed that, Regina, in the last couple of live streams. It's ridiculous the way they are just dragging it out with Amaya. Like, come on now. It's not that serious. Move on. But yeah, that's all I have to say. I'm going to watch the show and see what's going on. And if I feel compelled, I'll talk about it again. I don't know. It's about to be the end of the season, so I don't really see. Maybe family night will be interesting, but what? I didn't see that. Nia said it was the Times Magazine post about her being colorist too. Oh my God! Have any colorist black men on these reality shows ever got a Time Magazine article about them being colorists? Has that ever happened? This is insane. Yeah, I'm probably not coming back tonight. No. I want to start since I'm going live a lot, I want to start like breaking up some of the lives and posting them either as shorts or videos. So I think I'm going to work on that after I get off here. Well, I want to watch Love Island first and then work on that. Mariah says no. What do you no to what? What do you mean no? Y'all don't want me. What do y'all think? Y'all don't want me breaking up the live streams? Because some people want me to do that and some people don't. I was gonna do it anyway just to test to see, what the response would be. But like some people are like, no, don't do that. But yeah. Girl, isn't it ridiculous, Selena? She said, all of a sudden, colorism matters when they claim a woman is perpetuating. Like, it's just blasted everywhere now. Now, all of a sudden, we want to talk about colorism and the mental health of it. What happens? Why y'all never want to talk about the mental health of the dark-skinned women who get rejected on the show or who get, pandered to on the show? Like, you never want to talk about that. Like, I just can't, I can't do this. Like, that's why I jumped in the conversation because this is just so ridiculous to me. And you guys make sure if you haven't watched my other live streams on this season of Love Island, go back to the last few live streams. Everything is time stamped. So, if you want to skip around, you can do that. And I'm going to timestamp this one too. So, because obviously I'm not making all of the points that I made in the first one, in the other lives. So yeah, definitely catch up if you haven't been watching. Black men are crybabies. Yes, they are. Isn't that what they call us when we talk about colorism? Colorism crybabies. Look at all these colorism crybabies now. Crying about Aniya being colorist. The colorists, they're colorist crybabies. That's what they are. How the colorist gonna complain about Aniya being colorist? That's crazy. Oh, let them cry, honey. I don't feel bad for none of them. Island Girl says, because they don't care about the mental well-being of dark-skinned Black women who have, and that's why I don't care. Y'all be saying, oh, you're tit for tat. Oh, you hate Black men. You're a misandrist. No. Well, that's fine. I really don't care about being called a misandrist. But I'm not going to care for a group of people who don't care about me. I'm not going to care more for other people more than they care about me. If that's being a misandrist, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I will proudly hold that title. I'd rather be a misandrist than a mammy. I'd rather be a misandrist than a Black woman who puts her needs last and her plight after everybody else's. Because that's dumb. That's stupid. So, yeah. Being a misandrist, especially in the Black community, pretty much just means that you're self first and you're not stupid and you're not going to cape for people who don't cape for you. That's pretty much what misandrist means in the Black community. When it boils down to it. That's really what it means. Kiara Jones says that will be cool. Yeah, and just to clarify, I'm not gonna break up like every topic and put it in a video. Just certain topics that I might feel like need their own video. I'll take that out of the live stream and either make it a video or a short. Only because too, like, I still got stuff planned for this summer, so I probably will be going live more than doing like pre-recorded videos. Jay says your take is definitely needed. Heard another creator say Love Island US is unsafe for the black man, for black men, the way LIUK is unsafe for black women. Talk about wild comparisons. Wow. Girl, I just never, last season, I don't remember hearing that kind of language. Like, I don't remember a lot of people saying, oh, this is just so unsafe for black women. Love Island, when we were talking about Olandria and Shelly and all the racism they experienced. Like, I never heard these kind of words before. I never heard so much concern about mental health last season. I didn't hear people threatening to boycott last season like they're doing this season. Like, the minute it's a black man experiencing what black women have been experiencing on these reality shows for years, all of a sudden everything just gets so serious. And I'm like, wow, even for black women, it just really shows how much they actually care more about the black man's plight than their own. It's like, black women, girl, and sometimes I can't believe, I'm like, dang, I don't even think, even when I was a mammy, it's like, dang, was I that bad? If I was, that's embarrassing. Like, it's like, I can't even believe I used to be a mammy. Like, oh, it's just so embarrassing. Because how do you throw yourself under the bus like that? You and your image, how do you do that to yourself? I mean, at least when I was a mammy, I really didn't know. Like, now you got women on the internet, they know, they're hearing the other side of the conversation. They know that these men don't care about them like that, and they're still mammying. Like, oh my God, that's crazy. Nia says, sorry, it was Ebony magazine. Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better. I understand what Ebony, like, they're Ebony, it's a lot of mammies that work for Ebony. Like, so I expect like a black woman's magazine to post some shit like that. Ebony, Essence, of course they're gonna do that. But girl, when you said Times Magazine, I was like, oh my God, like, I'm glad it wasn't Times Magazine. Yeah, Quadratic says that's how subconscious the programming runs. Yeah. But it's like, dang, really? Because I know with me, when I saw it for myself, then that's when I switched. That's when I stopped being pro-black. When I actually saw the hypocrisy and I saw that the black community didn't care about black women the way they cared about black men, I immediately was like, okay, no, this is some bullshit. And I immediately burned the cape. I immediately stopped being pro-black male. I didn't need much convincing. These girls, they'll see some shit right in front of their face. They'll see, girl, that's crazy to me. It's just crazy. And I'm looking at black women that KC would never defend. I'm looking at black women. It's like KC would never defend you. He would never date you. He would never cape for you. None of that. And the men defending him wouldn't either. And y'all still caping. Like, that's embarrassing. I'm sorry. It's so embarrassing. It was Ebony Mag. Yeah, I'm not surprised that it was Ebony. Yeah, Lavi says, so it wasn't Time Magazine, but Ebony Magazine figures. I hate Ebony and Essence Magazine, Mammy Central. Yeah, you can't trust them to be, you can bet on them to be like black male identified. You can't trust them to be like black woman first. So yeah, I guess so. Pink Red says, it's a cult mindset. Seeing the truth isn't enough. That is so unfortunate. Lavi, boom. She said, I don't see any preferences defending KC. Yes, it's mostly dark-skinned black women. Oh my God. So embarrassing. Now, I've seen some light-skinned women too defend him. I have. But it is mostly dark-skinned black women. It's so unfortunate. But it's always like that, right? It's always like that. When it comes to like defending black men who get unalived by the police, Who do you see most on the front lines? It's usually always dark-skinned Black women, always fat dark-skinned Black women too, always. And if they're not dark-skinned, they're unambiguous and like brown skin or something. But it's hardly ever, you know, the preferences. Man, oh man. But yeah, I've never watched Love Island UK. So I didn't know. So it's worse than Love Island USA. That's what y'all are saying? It's worse? My goodness. Yep, that is very true. Sheree. Oh shit. I was trying to highlight the comment. And I think that's what we have to accept, y'all. Sheree says the truth is other Black women will need to be left behind. You taught me this since I was 20, Christy. I'm 31. Yeah. And just like I said earlier, you know, with that Young Miami thing, you just gotta leave these women behind. That's it. And you gotta accept that. And I swear, you know, I have to tell myself that all the time. You got to leave these bitches behind. But I think it just bothers me so much when certain narratives are put out. And I have to put out a different narrative. If I see the narrative is one thing and Black women are, you know, are mammying, and that's the main narrative, mammying or coddling Black men, you know, trashing Black women, throwing their image under the bus. If I see that, I always need to put out a different narrative. That's a me thing, you know. Even if it doesn't, you know, necessarily save a lot of Black women or convert them, at least it's out there. At least the narrative is out there to where even if it's just one or two Black women who come across it and change their mind, that's enough for me. I just feel like I've done my job. Because I just can't do it. I can't leave it alone. Like with this show this season, I couldn't just leave it alone. I was like, oh no. Mm-mm. Now, if I would have seen more Black women with my stance, then I would have left it alone. I've been like, okay, well, it's enough. You know, it's enough of us out there, you know, saying the right thing so I don't have to watch the show. I saw way too much mammying for me not to say anything. I had to say something. I had to. That shit was crazy. Yep, you are right. I was surprised when Chrissy said she gets, what do you mean, approached by light skin or Black or mixed with Black, because in the UK they are some of the worst. Yeah, I'm not saying that there aren't light skin and mixed race men who are colorists, because there are. You know, I definitely have seen that here too. But I will say, I'm just saying they show me more love than the American dark-skinned Black men. That's all I'm saying. I don't think I've ever dated anybody who was my complexion or darker. Not to say that they never approach me, but for the most part, like, I get approached by men who are lighter than me all the time. And, you know, I pointed that out to one of my friends. And he was like, you know what? He was like, that's true. And I say friend, but it's my ex. My ex, he's my friend. But I did point that out to him because he was making the argument that, you know how Black men are. It's like anytime you point out colorism, they be trying to act like they don't know they be like, well, I know all kind of dark-skinned girls in relationships. And that's what he was trying to say to me. He was like, you act like you don't get attention from Black men. He was like, I'm Black. I was like, I'm not saying that I don't get attention from Black men, but I was trying to tell him that dark-skinned Black men don't really approach me like that. And I told him, I was like, you're not dark-skinned. You're not dark. And he was like, but there are Black men with dark-skinned women. I was like, well, how many successful Black men do you know, dark-skinned Black men who are with dark-skinned women? Y'all, he couldn't name one. And we were thinking about like people we went to school with, people we know who turned out to be very successful. And he was really, he paused and he was trying to think. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. But he told me, he was like, well, that's because I was telling him, and I was like, I haven't dated anybody who's my complexion or darker. And I was like, that's not my fault, because I'm not about to approach a motherfucker. So that's just who approaches me. But his excuse was that my complexion is rare. He was like, well, he was like, your complexion is rare. It's not a lot of dark-skinned women in the Black community. I was like, I said, okay. I said, so are there a lot of dark-skinned men? And he was like, yeah. I was like, get off my phone. Like, I was literally about to hang up on him. I was like, I'm done with this conversation. He made me so fucking mad. I was like, dude, what do you mean my complexion? Your complexion is rare. Y'all, I'm milk chocolate. I'm not even like, I could see if I was like, like exceptionally like super, super dark skin. You know what I mean? I am milk chocolate. My complexion is not rare in the Black community. Oh, because his argument, and I've heard that argument before, but his argument is like, well, most people in the Black community are brown skin. That's his argument. Like, most Black Americans are brown skin. I think there are a lot of brown skinned Black Americans. I do. I think that most of us are brown and dark. But to be acting like there's less dark skinned women than dark skinned men, sir, get the fuck off my phone. Like, get off my phone. And I was like, okay. And I asked him, I said, is it because you're noticing more dark skinned men than dark skinned women? Is that, do you not see us? Is that what you're saying? And he was like, I know you're not trying to call me colorist, which I don't think he's colorist, but I'm like, dude, like, why would you? Come on now. That's a dumbass argument. Sabrina said, is this why he's an ex? No, he's an ex because he's a fucking Scorpio. And I can't do Scorpios, okay? Oh. But yeah, they gonna cape for Black men. That's just what they do. Black men are gonna cape for other Black men, even when they're not dark. And that's another thing I've noticed too. Like, I don't know, for those of you who have dated like lighter skinned men or men who are not dark skinned, they always feel the need to cape for dark skinned men. I noticed that. It's like they need their approval or something. And I think it's because, well, I think they also identify with them too for some reason, but it's, well, not for, I know the reason. It's because they're Black too. But it's like, sometimes like I be looking at them like, okay, especially the light skinned ones, the mixed race ones. I'm like, them niggas don't identify with you like that. So why are you caping for them? That's weird. I think I've only dated like 2 racially ambiguous men that didn't cape for dark skinned Black men, who actually could hold a conversation and talk about how they were othered by dark skinned Black men. And therefore they really didn't, feel the need to defend them. But most of them absolutely do. Like, if you talk to some light-skinned men, they will, and then talk about like how colorist dark-skinned Black men are, especially, they'll cape for them. And I'm like, they don't like you like that. Like, why are you why are you caping for them? That's crazy. Aniya says they cape for dark-skinned Black men because they want to benefit from misogyny and the BBC narrative. Yeah. And it's like, that don't trickle down to you, sir. That don't trickle down to you. It's like they cape for dark-skinned Black men the same way, the same reason, I should say, or similar reasons that dark-skinned Black women cape for light-skinned women and mixed race women. It's like they think that whatever privilege they get is going to trickle down type shit. And see, that's why, for me personally, it's just easier to date out. Like, honestly, because I'm not saying that all light-skinned men suffer from that type of shit, but I know I've noticed too, like some of the light-skinned men, they also, some of them, I'm not saying all of them, but some of them go after dark-skinned women because being with us validates their Blackness. That's another thing I've noticed with them. Like, we validate their Blackness. They're like, even though I'm not fully accepted, especially the racially ambiguous ones, like the mixed race men, It's like, even though I'm not accepted by the black community as a black man, if I get this very dark skinned black woman, then I'll be more accepted as black. I noticed that with them too. And then when you get to the light skinned men, the racially ambiguous men who are not that way and who really don't care about, being validated in the black community, then they usually just don't even fuck with dark skinned women at all. Those are usually the Corbins. You know what I mean? The ones who like light, bright, and white women. So it's just like, I can't do that. I can't do that mindset. Sheree says, exactly, Chrissy. Also having a black male child who has a chance of being dark skinned because of it. Yeah. So that's why I said, even though there are issues like with dating outside the race, that has its own set of potential problems, but usually you don't have to deal with all that extra shit. Like, it's been easier in my experience just to date out, and specifically white men. Because once you get over to them, it's like, not to say that they aren't colorist, but again, usually with white men, if they're colorist, if they don't really like dark-skinned women, they just not going to talk to you. They're not going to pander. They're not going to try to approach you and be with you to validate, something within them. You know what I mean? Because that doesn't exist. You get what I'm saying? Now, the only thing with white men that you got to be careful about, you got to make sure that they're not coming to you because they got rejected in their own community. That's one thing you got to worry about with white men. Yeah, the fetishizers too. You got to worry about that too. But again, you can get fetishized in the black community too. So fetishization can happen on either side. And honestly, with white men, and I've said this before, with white men, it's easier to find out if they're fetishizers. It's easier to know if they're fetishizing you, because I just feel like, I don't know if y'all have the same experience, but with white men, well, I'm gonna say black men are kind of like this too, honestly. But white men, when if they just want to fuck you, or they're just trying to fetishize you, it comes out almost immediately. I don't know if it's because it's a race thing too, like they're racist. That might be why. But sometimes to me, in my experience, which it hasn't happened often, because again, racist white men just tend to stay away from me for the most part. I think so anyway. But I just remember one time I was on the dating app. This was years ago. And this white man, we matched or whatever. And immediately he sent me a message. And we were talking or whatever. And he was like, oh, so you like white guys? Because, some white guys, they don't believe that black women like them. Or they think that, or they're surprised when we like them. And I was like, yeah, I date everybody. And normally I don't even bring that up. Like, if they bring it up first, we can have the conversation. But normally I don't even say anything. And so I said, yeah, I like everybody. I was like, I don't have a preference. And I was like, well, what about you? Have you dated a black woman before? And he was like, not really. I fucked a few though. And I immediately unmatched with him. I immediately, like, the conversation was over after that. And I've noticed, like, with white men, it's like, it's not a lot of, pussyfooting around. It's like, they're not going to drag it out. It's like, if they see you as just something to fuck, they'll just let that be known immediately up front. Whereas black men, this is just my experience, as black men, usually they will let you know pretty soon if they just want to fuck, but they try to game you first, if that makes sense. They try to make it seem like it's going to be more than what it is. Kind of how KC did with Aniya. Like, they try to build it up into something, even though they know they just want to fuck, if that makes sense. So I don't know. I just feel like it's easier to tell with non-black men. Yeah, they drag it out. Black men drag it out. They gotta spit game. They gotta make you think that they be in love with you and shit type shit. Like that's to me how the difference between black men and non-black men, especially white men. Yeah, right. Levi says you're the blueprint to you're the grandma. You're a grandma. Exactly. That is how it is. And that's why, when black people and especially black men be trying to like scare black women out of dating interracially because they're, oh, white men are going to be so racist. In my experience, the racists are like overt with it. Like there's no way to miss it. Racists are very bold, especially when it comes to like women, black women. Maybe not so much the men, but they're very bold. And so it's like, it's easy, at least in my experience, I'm just speaking for myself, it's easy to avoid racist white men. Like most black women who end up in relationships with white men, I don't think most of them are racist because it's like, again, it just seems like so upfront when they're like that. Like, I don't see how, unless the black woman just don't care and they're just ignoring all the red flags and they just end up with them anyway. But in my experience, like, I don't see how it's not hard to miss. That's all I'm saying. It's not hard to miss at all. And maybe it's just because, I don't know, maybe because I pick up on stuff, but I'm like, I know a lot of black women too, y'all get fooled by colorist men, black men too. And y'all don't be seeing that for what it is. So I don't know, maybe the girls really are getting bamboozled by racist non-black men, but I don't see how. I don't see how. Yeah, they're weird. Like racist white men are weird. Like there's no way that you can miss that. So I don't know. And again, like I said before, most of them stay out of the faces of black women. They don't even talk to black women. They stick with white girls. So and again, that's the difference for the most part between racist white men, especially, and colorist black men. Racist white men, for the most part, are going to stick with their white women. Like they're not going to venture out. Colorist black men, they still going to be in your face as a dark-skinned woman, even though they're fully colorist. And that's the difference. And so I don't know, maybe that's why the girls just, the colorism just be flying over y'all heads. I don't know. But for somebody like me who's just extremely aware, I pick up on things, I read between the lines, that shit ain't getting over on me ever. And I don't tolerate it. I don't tolerate colorism from black men, just like I don't tolerate racism from white men. Yes, Selena, they do get, racist white men do give bottom shelf vibes. Yeah, very much so. Nia says black men are manipulative with it. Yep, they are. Selena says men that stress about hair and skin color tend to be colorists. Very much so. Yeah, Drew says there's a look to them. I agree. I don't know. Maybe maybe we just have better discernment. I don't know, than a lot of women. Because I swear I can tell when a white man is racist. I can just tell by looking at him. Or how he looks at me. I can just tell. Kino, yes. You remember that story. That's what that guy said. I was dating a mixed guy and we didn't make it that far, but we were at dinner or something. And I remember him saying, yeah, look at us. He was like, we look good together. We would make some pretty kids. And I was like, I said, oh, really? I said, would they be pretty because of me or you? Like, I just wanted to hear what he wanted to say, what he was going to say. You know, I don't know if I said it exactly like that. I was like, oh, well, you think, I said something like, because of your features or mine. Like, I don't remember like what question I threw at him, but he got out of it because he was like, well, no, both of our features together. Like, he was probably running game too, you know, because some of them mixed with black dudes, they're like black men. They run game. But yeah, he got out of it pretty well. But I just, you know, that is some of the stuff that they say. And some of the mixed race men, they think that some of them, not saying all, but some of them do think that them choosing you, like you should feel like a prize because they're mixed race. So yeah, I've definitely came across mixed race men like that too. Exactly. I mean, girl says, what made him think you wanted kids with him? Exactly. But yeah, men do care about that stuff too. Men care about what their kids are gonna look like. Mm-hmm. Mariah says they think we are insecure. Yep. Nia says, yeah, if his dad is black or his mom dates black men, or he has a lot of black male family members. Yeah. If he has a lot of black male family members, he definitely a lot of times will try to get the approval of black men. Or he just acts mostly like black men. Like he acts like his black side, basically. Yep. Nia says they do try to manipulate black women with our disadvantages or insecurities in society. Yeah. And I think that it's probably too because they heard a lot of black women telling them, like, oh, I want to have light skinned babies, or I want to have babies that look like you. I'm pretty sure they hear that a lot from black women. And see, I was never that type because I don't know. Maybe it's just because I have so many like light skinned people in my family, so many mixed race people in my family. And again, I get approached by light skinned and mixed race men. So I'm not gonna treat you like you're special because you're light skinned or you're mixed race. Like I'm not gonna do that. But again, it just depends on the guy. Like they all haven't been like that, but I definitely have come across some who are like that. What do you mean by that? Nia says we talk too much online and people developing playbooks against us. What kind of playbooks? What do you mean, like them running game? Yeah, I can always tell when they full of shit though. I can just tell. Like it's gonna take more than you just being like, oh, you beautiful black queen, and I love dark skinned black women. Like it's gonna take more than you just saying that. And I'm gonna find out one way or the other. Like you can talk all that good shit all you want, but if your actions don't line up or your history doesn't line up, then I'm gonna know you're full of shit. So that's the thing, ladies. Like I get what you're saying, how, we talk a lot online. Black women do talk a lot online and we do share a lot with each other. And it does give people the opportunity to manipulate us or, run game. But just like a lot of us over here picked up on KC pandering, you can still tell. So, you know, they gonna have to stop that shit. Like, that pandering's not gonna work on everybody. We know. We know, nigga. We don't have a lot of private online platforms, and yes, they use our conversation and arguments against us. Even white people are calling us self-hating now online. Well, girl, like, I really don't care what a lot of them are saying. Because at the end of the day, and here's the thing, like, people, everybody, y'all have to remember this too. Everybody is uncomfortable. Every group of people, not to say this applies to everybody in one particular group, but as a collective, right? Every group of people are going to be uncomfortable with Black women putting ourselves first. Every group of people are going to be uncomfortable with Black women exploring our options and dating a variety of people. They're not really used to us doing that, right? And you do even have non-Black people, because Nia is saying she's even seeing white people call us self-hating. Well, you got to understand, there are white people too who don't really want Black people dating white people, right? They would rather see us with Black men. Okay. White women don't necessarily want to compete with Black women for men. Black men don't want to see it. Nobody really wants to see that. And so, of course, they're going to say certain things, even if it's not true. And this is not to say that some Black women aren't self-hating, right? Because there are self-hating Black women out there. But just dating out does not make a Black woman self-hating. Just dating out does not make a Black woman colorist, right? But of course, they're going to say that because they simply just don't want us exploring our options. So some of this stuff is being exaggerated, y'all. So you can't let that get to you. You can't internalize that. And you got to understand too, especially with these liberal white people, they really don't want to see us putting ourselves first, putting our plight first, exploring our options, none of that, because they're so used to us fighting for them too, fighting for everybody else, fighting for other groups of people. So nobody really likes seeing us actually be selfish for a change. So of course they're going to be like, oh, you're self-hating and you're this and you're that. Girl, I don't pay attention to none of that shit. Now, if it actually applies, then that's fine. But some of the women they're trying to slap that self-hate label on, it's not true. So sorry, y'all. I literally X'd out of the thing. My bad. I'm getting ready wrap it up anyway. Mm-hmm. Yeah, First Class says there is a tactic to stop what they're seeing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because think about it. Honestly, both online and offline, I rarely find a Black woman who's like truly like self-hating, like really hates herself and like super colorist. Like, I don't run across that in like a lot. You know? I run across obviously Black women who might have low self-esteem or something like that. But like I'm talking about like self-hating in the way that they describe online, like, oh, you worship white men and you worship whiteness. And I don't see a lot of that online and off. Like, I don't see a lot of, honestly, even Black women who just date non-Black men in general. I don't see that a lot. Like, I'm starting to see more of it when I go out in everyday places, but like like what people are describing like as being like a white male worshiper. Like, how often do y'all actually come across white male worshipers that are black women? Like, I don't come across that often. Yeah, like Uncle Ruckus type. I don't come across that often at all. So again, a lot of this is just complete and total exaggeration. That's what it is. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, Lexiana. That's pretty much the only group of people I've seen it with, like the extreme divestors. That's the only group of people I see that actually worship white men. Like outside of them, I don't see black women who do that. It's like, and you can be divested without worshiping white men and without mammying for white people. You can be divested without doing it. And that's why they don't like me, because I refuse to be a mammy for white people and white men. Like, I'm still going to talk about racism. I'm still going to call a white person out when they're racist. I'm not going to, just automatically cape for them because they're white. Like, we don't do that over here. So, yeah, that's why they don't like me. But no, if I'm not going to mammy for black people, I'm not going to mammy for white people either. J Ray says, yep, seen white women tell black women how crappy white men are. So we shouldn't be quick to date out. And that Asian lady that likes to debunk anything sprinkle ladies. I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah. Is the Asian lady's man white? Does she date white men? Who does she date? Because I'm telling you, these women will be quick to say that. They'll be like, oh, don't date white men. And they're not this and they're not that. Meanwhile, that's all they date. They don't date black men either. So you got to be careful with them bitches too. They're trying to lower the competition. Okay. It's those same women who are like anti-hypergamy. They be doing the same shit. Oh, hypergamy is not going to save you. And oh, you need your own money and all, and which is true, but they're in hypergamous marriages themselves, or they would never date a broke man. They would never do hypogamy, yet they're telling you that it's not a good choice. So you got to be careful with women like that. You got to be very careful with that. Oh, especially with these Asian women, girl. Them be the main ones. Some of them Asian women, that's all they fucking with is white men. That's it. And most of the time, the white men do not be broke. So, and meanwhile, they trying to tell black women, white men aren't all that. Okay, where your man at? Is he white or black? Would you date a black man? Where your black man at? Why you ain't with one? Why you ain't with a black male dusty? Why are you not in a hypogamous marriage if hypergamy is not the answer? So yeah, I've been peeped those kind of women. I don't trust any woman who's anti-hypergamy. I'm not gonna hold you. I don't trust any woman who is anti-hypergamy. Any woman who's out here trying to push hypogamy on black women can't be trusted. Those are some dangerous bitches. I don't trust none of them. Because if the argument is that marriage is unfair for women and it's this and it's that, why the fuck would you be encouraging hypogamy? Now, it's one thing if you say, if you're anti-marriage and you feel like marriage is oppression as a whole. Like, I can honestly understand that talking point a little bit better. But if you know that women are going to get married anyway, if you know that most women want partnership and want children and all that stuff, why would you then, like, it makes more sense to be pro-hypergamy. At least say, if you're going to get married, be hypergamous. At least say that. But a lot of these women, they're not even saying that. They're like, they're making hypergamy seem like a prison. Even when you have your own money, like, and most people in these hypergamy spaces, including myself, we're not telling you not to have your own money or your own career or your own education. Duh, of course, get that. Get all those things. We're just saying, if you're going to get married and have children and date, do it hypergamously. And at the very least, somebody who's your equal. If it's not hypergamous, somebody who has just as much to lose as you do. Just as financially successful as you do, or financially established as you are. That's it. There should be no debate from other women when it comes to that. So I side eye any woman who pushes back on that. I side eye all of them bitches who do that. I don't trust none of them. Because it's definitely giving that you're trying to eliminate your competition. That's what it's giving. It's definitely giving because you settled for a broke man. You trying to get other women to settle. That's what it's giving. It's one of those two things. Yeah, they are definitely the ops. Definitely the ops. And they're definitely those women that try to sabotage you. I don't trust them hoes for 1 second. Mm-hmm. Yonda's one of them. Date a bus driver. I don't trust that bitch either. She one of them old women who chose bad all her life, got screwed over, kept choosing poorly. Every relationship she been in, the man ain't been shit. She's been in all these hypogamous marriages, so she don't want younger women to do better than she did. That's what that is. That's what that's about. So yeah, I don't trust women like that. And if they're married, telling you to basically not be hypergamous, and they're married, they're either in a hypogamous marriage, a miserable marriage, or the man is just financially mediocre. Like, you can't convince me otherwise. Because there should be no reason, even if you're not. Listen, if I look at a woman who is married or who is dating a man who has more money than mine, I'm happy for that bitch. I'm like, girl, get that coin. Okay, get that bag, because that's the only way it's worth it. I don't resent that woman at all. Why? Because my man has money. See how that works? So I don't feel like any woman who's getting paid or who's in a financially comfortable relationship, or in a relationship with a man who's financially comfortable or financially above average, there's no reason for women like that to hate. And if they are, it's just because they want to feel special. Like, I don't know, it's some psychological shit going on with women like that. But for the most part, in my experience, women who are married to or dating men who are successful, who are high earners, they don't be hating on other women. Matter of fact, they like to be around women who are dating men who are high earning. So, yep, misery loves company. Gigi says, or they're the breadwinner with their masculine mammy. Yeah. Yeah, I've been peeped that. Like, I noticed my main detractors, like specifically my hypergamy detractors, it's usually like baby mamas, broke baby mamas, women who in hypergamous relationships, or I'm sorry, hypogamous relationships or marriages. Usually they fall in that category. It's never the women who, the women who I did the lifestyle series, who I interviewed for the lifestyle series, it's never women like that. It's always like baby mamas, broke women, women with broke men. It's always them. So that's not a coincidence. I don't think that's a coincidence. And it's like, it's not my fault you married a broke man. Like, girl, you didn't have to do that. Nobody told you to do that shit. Nobody told you to be dumb like that. It's not my fault. But anyway, I'm about to watch Love Island. I don't know when's the next time I'll be on here, but hopefully it'll be soon. So you can send all of your video requests to askchrissy@gmail.com. Make sure you include context in the email so I know, what you want me to talk about. Oh, and I wanted to say too, even though I deactivated my Instagram, I still have a burner account on Instagram. Okay. So you guys can send me Instagram links. I can still see what's on Instagram. I'm just not on there as Chrissy. So it's fine if you send me Instagram links. So I just wanted to say that because I know a couple people were confused by that. I do still have a burner. Okay. Yeah, so this was fun. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Hype the video as well. I've been noticing that a lot of you guys have done that. Thank you. And thank you guys for the super chats. Thank you guys so much for your support. And I'll talk to you next time. Love you. Bye.